Welcome back to the Zions live broadcast of the Simple Green U.S. Open Handball and WPH Race for 8 Series. Serving Dave Chapman, the defending national champion, seated number 4 here, taking on Aaron Garner, the younger brother of Alan Garner, the defending champion. Aaron lives in Portland, Oregon, plays his handball out of the Multnomah Athletic Club, actually sponsored by the Multnomah Athletic Club. Aaron plays a very similar style to Dave Chapman, very methodical, likes to use the ceiling. Prefers the lob serve or the soft power serve. And you see that soft power serve right there. And a beautiful kill there from Aaron Garner. Aaron Garner does a lot of cross training by learning and practicing MMA. That's mixed martial arts.
Side out.
Aaron's got that inherent strength.
2, serving 1.
He's taking on one of the greats in the history of this game.
Point.
And you'll see that so many times when Dave Chapman hits the floor, he ends the rally. He's the best of all time at diving and re-killing simultaneously. Aaron Garner checking the floor there. Great camera shots there from our front wall cam. Dave Chapman going to the towel already. He's already got a good sweat going. Jogged about 2 miles before this match started. Said he likes to get his heart rate going before the match actually starts. Aaron Garner not playing much tournament handball in the last couple years.
3, serving 1.
He's a college student in Portland. Says he plays when he can.
Point.
And Dave Chapman punching that left sidewall, and the ball just runs away from Aaron.
4, serving 1.
Let's remember that most of these players have never played with this new 21 ball. Dave Chapman did play with this ball at the 3-wall nationals in Toledo, but the ball certainly plays a lot differently inside than it does outside on the concrete. Hard to say who this ball favors.
Point.
We'll find out on Sunday afternoon
2,
when the champion
serving
is
4.
handed the oversized check.
Short. Second serve. Side out.
And a beautiful flat kill there from Dave Chapman. This is Dave Chapman's first
4, serving
pro
2.
4-wall tournament since winning the Nationals in June. Did not have as successful a 3-wall season as he would have hoped, as he lost in the quarterfinals in Toledo. Did win the doubles there in Toledo and then lost
2, serving
also
4.
in the quarterfinals in Las Vegas. He was the defending 3-wall outdoor ball champion in Vegas and also the defending
3-wall
USHA national champion, relinquishing both
4,
of those crowns.
Serving 2.
Lost to Shorty Ruiz in
Short.
both of those events.
Second serve. Point.
And there's a nice sidearm kill from Dave Chapman in the right corner. Uses the spin of the ball coming off the right side wall and lets the ball just run through his hand into that right corner. Not a good shot there from Aaron. Aaron actually coached by Dave Chapman as a junior. Dave Chapman spending some time down at the Garner Ranch in San Antonio, Texas, teaching
6,
both
serving
Alan
2.
and Aaron as aspiring players.
Point.
And Aaron with a
Timeout,
badly
Garner, your
mishit
first. 1
left-handed
minute.
kill shot
Score is
opportunity as
7, serving 2.
Aaron takes his first time out here, trailing 7-2 in game number 1. Not a great start for Aaron Garner.
Out of the blue, right?
And earlier you were talking about that talk show that we have coming up afterwards. Are you going to give the audience a sneak preview of what's going to take place, the lineup, the format?
Well, Dave, I'm glad you asked. We're going to recap the best matches from today. We're going to look forward to some big-time matchups tomorrow. We're going to discuss the new ball. We're going to talk about which match you're looking forward to watching the most tomorrow.
Wow, that's a lot of topics.
Well, you know, Dave, we have it narrowed down. Each topic is just 1 minute and 30 seconds, so you say what you have to say and you move on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, you're going to lose every argument regardless, so I figured we'll just keep it at 1.5 minutes and save you the misery.
I don't call it having an argument. I just call it having a conversation between two guys that mutually respect each other.
I call it a learning experience for you. Kind of like being in class. The Santa Ana winds, Dave, blowing through the webcast booth. It's about 63 degrees here as the sun starts to fade here.
I think it's done faded.
Oh, really?
No court sounds from the referee here.
John Bike actually turned off his referee to have a conversation during the timeout and forgot to turn it back on, Dave.
That's a slide ball. That ball slid.
John Bike on top of that call.
7, serving 2.
Between the referee, Dave, and the players, there are 11 USHA National
Point.
Four-Wall Singles Championships. And well over 50
8, serving 2.
National Pro Championships combined, if you'd include doubles and three-wall.
I want to say hello to Jim Garner, watching back
Point.
in San Antonio, Texas, watching his son and Allison, Dr. Allison Garner, as well as Alex.
Big Jim cannot be
9,
pleased
serving 2.
with the way Aaron's playing right now. Aaron looks a little bit shell-shocked in there, Dave, with all the cameras on him. He's also playing one of the greats.
Point.
And look at that shot from Dave Chapman. Just the game seems to be played in slow motion when Dave's out there playing. He has a way of neutralizing power and just making the game look so easy.
10, serving 2.
That's why I feel that this ball benefits Dave Chapman more than any other player.
Care to explain?
That's a slide ball, yep.
I just disagree with that call, but I would like to hear your explanation there, Dave, of why this ball favors Dave
10,
Chapman.
serving 2.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Well, I just believe that he uses a methodical approach anyway, so this ball doesn't seem to carry as much deep in the courts. It seems like he is smart enough to be able to learn to hit the two-wall passes that will catch those back walls. I mean, he's more of a mind type player anyway, so all the little strange bounces that this ball makes, he's the one that will seem to learn at first. And he'll use it to his advantage, as opposed to earlier, like Nadi Alvarado, for example, seemed to be baffled by some of those strange bounces and really looked caught off guard most of the time.
Sean Lenning as well, Dave, did
2,
not look
serving
comfortable
10.
today. We didn't have a chance to watch Luis Moreno today as he took care of business on the second show court.
Hold it. 2 serving 10.
Just a terrible
out.
serve there from Aaron, Dave. Not only was it not close to the left side wall, it also came about 7 feet off the back wall.
I also noticed a big, huge smile on his
10
face during
serving 2.
that shot. 10-2. You recall now, if you've seen the second Dave Chapman instructional DVD, Aaron is the subject in that video.
Side out.
And he actually gets paid royalties.
Even when we just talk about it?
No, but on every sale, he gets
2 serving 10.
20% off cat litter. It's a royalty.
Cat litter adds up.
Could be spendy. Just next thing he's going to work on is hope you know, he wants to get into the round of 8 so he can get some money so he can buy a cat. It's the next step.
That's the best thing to have when you've got all that
3
cat litter
serving
lying
10.
around.
Short.
3 serves 10.
Second serve. Side out.
And Aaron with a miss hit. And that's a ball that you see miss hit quite a bit, Dave, is when you're sprinting to your left or even to your right, trying to catch up with the ball and swing while you're still running. Very hard to make clean contact with that shot.
This is game number 1, Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball. After this, we're going to have a brief talk show to wrap up today's action. I don't know if this is the appropriate time to say it, Dave, but I guess there's some news that you'd like to share.
About the actual talk show?
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Score is
Not
10
sure I do.
serving 3.
I think you do.
Point.
Not a good air there from Aaron Garner as he hits the elevator shot straight up and down.
11 serving 3.
11 serves 3. Referee is John Bike.
And
wow.
Just a terrible shot
Point.
there from Aaron Garner.
Timeout, Garner. That's your second. 1 minute.
It's going to be tough for Aaron to score 18
Score
in the
is
next
12,
27
serving
points with only
3.
1 timeout, Dave. Not really sure. I suppose that he trusts his fitness so much that he uses his timeouts only strategically.
Well, it was a terrible shot, but it was a smart timeout call. You're watching the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball live here at Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California. We started the morning before the sun came up, and now the sun is down, and it's starting to get a little chilly out here in Southern California. Most people around the world right now watching this live broadcast said, oh, you're in California. Well, that's, you know, has to be 90 degrees there. Palm trees, 90 degrees. People are surfing, hanging out.
Not in Fountain Valley.
No, it's
chilly here.
It's cold. Yeah, you have
And
to
it was cold
sweater.
the last time we were here.
10 seconds.
It's rather chilly, and our booth is outside. We're not in the facility. As you can see, it's packed from this front wall camera
Figure out
angle
that
looking
light.
back toward the
Light
gallery.
on.
There's just not enough room for
Yeah,
Big
you like
DV
that more?
and Dave Fink.
It's a little thing setting me apart.
Although someday we could go
12 serving 3.
purchase some tickets and sit up there in the cheap seats if you wanted to. Such great camera work that we really literally see every single shot.
Side out.
Aaron there with a nice pass.
3 serving 12.
Score is 3-12.
Point.
Dave with an uncharacteristic air there.
4 serving 12. Replay.
Believe that was a slide ball there, Dave, on the left side wall. For whatever reason, Dave, these walls tend to become pretty slippery.
4, serving 12.
We'll have to watch for that, Dave, as this tournament unfolds over the next 3 days.
Well, it's
Side out.
the issue with the courts here is that this is at the end of the facility, and a lot of the heat from inside the
12,
club actually
serving
migrates
4.
all the way down to the last court. This is the very last court.
Not sure
And there's
I
not a
really
lot of
follow you
ventilation.
there.
There's no ventilation down at this side of the facility, Dave.
But there are fans blowing onto the court.
Yeah, but there's no fans blowing out of the facility. There needs to be an opening that will send that air out.
So
right now, it's
perhaps
just
if-
circulating inside, and the heat inside coupled with it's getting cold outside creates condensation, precipitation.
So perhaps if they leave the door open
Yes,
during the night, that could help.
certainly.
Let some of that hot air out.
Yes.
Okay. So I learned there, followed the
4,
It's a
serving
humid
12.
air. It's a hot, humid air inside there, and that humidity sticks on the walls, and the walls are cold, so it creates a neat little weather pattern.
not so neat if you're in there trying to play.
Point.
A couple years ago, we were having this problem, and they opened up that side door and put a fan there, and between timeouts, they would open up that door and
5,
turn that fan
serving
on.
12.
Circulate some of that air out of the facility. 5 serves 12. Nice serve right there from Aaron. It got Dave to double
Point.
think what he was doing, and it forced a point. Now it's 6-12.
Nice playing here from Aaron Garner
6,
over the last
serving 12.
3 rallies. It's almost, Dave, a big disadvantage when you play a top player and your style is similar to theirs, because oftentimes, Dave, you play somebody with a similar style than you
Side
as
out.
yourself, and you end up losing badly. Better off playing somebody with a completely
12,
different style,
serving 6.
and that actually throws off their style a little bit. Not sure that you're following what I'm saying.
All I heard was style, blah, blah,
Okay.
blah, style, blah, 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 style.
That's a
I
blah.
tried to follow you.
That's a blah with an H, not with just an A at the end.
Correct.
Yeah.
That
A lot
would
of
be-
people like to abbreviate that on texts and emails.
That's true. It'd
But
be-
I want to spell that correctly.
It would be too blasé of me to put just an A. Look how Dave just flips that ball
Hold
back.
it.
That's an automatic hinder when it hits that metal
Chapman serving.
shelf that's up at the top. It's right above our scoreboard on that last angle. There's a little tiny metal shield up there, and if the ball hits it, it's an automatic
12, serving 6.
hinder. 12-6. The one that Nadi Alvarado hit on purpose earlier.
Point.
We're at Los Caballeros Sports Village, Fountain Valley, California.
13, serving 6.
This is the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball.
Point.
And Dave now just winning points off standard rally shots.
14, serving 6. Point.
And once again, it's Dave Chapman not needing to kill the ball to win rallies here. You see this, Dave, Aaron Garner, similar to John
15,
Iglesias,
serving
just
6.
hasn't played much competitive handball in the last year or 2 years, and very difficult to be thrown in there against one of these top players
Side out.
without that repetition of seeing this kind of skill.
6, serving 15. Side out.
Dave Chapman is so good with his defensive play that he puts double Aaron right back over there to that left wall, and it turns out to be an offensive shot.
Serving 6.
15-6. And if you think he does that on accident, it's play him sometime, and you'll find out how every ball is right on that wall.
You never really get to load up on any kind of swing when you're playing Dave Chapman.
Timeout. That is your final timeout. Score is 16, serving 6.
I think Aaron is just really frustrated right now, especially with his play. He knows that he can make those back wall shots. Now he said, I'm just going to focus on my left. Dave is going to hit it to my left. This is an interesting move right here from Aaron, who's obviously shook up just a little bit to a point where you're going to call a timeout and practice your back wall shot.
Well, you know, Dave, designated hitters in baseball actually go to the batting cage during their team's defensive innings, and they go and take some swings. They look at film and see if they can correct it for their next at bat.
I've been in this position before with your offhand. You're playing in a marquee tournament like this. Ball comes down that left wall, it's sliding, and you lock up, and you don't take a full swing. I think what Aaron is doing here is pretty smart.
I was in that position about 2 hours ago.
But that was with every shot, both hands.
It's true.
I was talking about just your offhand down the wall.
I didn't remember hitting any with my left in that match. And now it's a glove change, so this 1 minute timeout will become a 3 minute timeout. You see Dave Chapman now wearing his Tucson Gunslinger jersey.
This is a glove change timeout. You're watching the Simple Green US Open and WPH Race for 8, both sponsored by Simple Green.
Do you think, Dave, that the 21 ball will actually favor the Irish? Because the Irish saying that this is a similar ball that they use in Ireland. This ball is being made in Ireland, and there's some talk, Dave, that maybe it's just the same ball.
Well, that's what some of the Irish players that have played with it are saying. Of course, we don't know because we have not been told, but it is made by the same manufacturer as the Challenger ball from Ireland.
Is that Challenger ball, Dave, the official ball used in Irish championship play?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's made by the same Challenger company.
Okay.
And when a couple of the Irish players came over and cracked that new 21 ball open, they said, hey, wait a second, this is the same ball. We play with this all the time. But that may not be the case. We don't know.
It's all conjecture at this point, Dave.
Now we're back in after that timeout. Dave Chapman wearing his Idaho Spuds uniform, as he's sponsored by the Idaho team.
Beautiful paddle kill there from Dave. He can hit that shot from behind the restraining line. You're used to seeing him hit that shot around the
17, serving 6.
The short line area, Dave, but he can hit it from anywhere on the court. And that's a great backwall shot, even though it doesn't end the rally.
Side out.
I believe, Dave, that the ball catches the side wall and actually takes off towards the front wall when you hit those corner kills, because it's a little bit lighter.
This is the first game. Aaron Garner wearing the red shirt, Dave Chapman wearing the black.
It's interesting, Dave, how you mentioned being locked up with your offhand. Certainly, I've felt it, but to hear that does happen to a lot of players, Dave, is very interesting. I actually look at it as being like a 3-foot putt in golf. You start to miss a couple of those shots with your offhand off the back wall, and then you're thinking about it. You're thinking about your technique, and You're thinking about how you actually want to swing, and then it becomes, how can I actually get this ball back?
But see, that's what Dave Chapman does to you. He's able to
18, serving 6.
make you have those problems. And then you see Aaron after that shot was looking at his hand, talking to it. Because now you start really second guessing yourself. But a guy like Dave Chapman is just going to pepper balls down that left wall. Try to make you start talking.
Hold it.
But I've been in the position before.
You did
and
fine. I thought his backswing was affected. You were fine.
This is one of those calls that really could go either way. I thought a no call would have been appropriate here, Dave, but not a bad call, certainly. Actually, I don't actually see a hinder there at all.
Well, he was explaining that. He felt that Aaron's backswing coming in, he didn't able to reach his hand back far enough because he knew Chapman was there, so he did a modified backswing. He just felt that it altered his shot.
That's a highly advanced call by the referee in that case.
It's tough to call that. I agree. But see how Chapman's going to stay over here on this left wall and pepper Aaron.
No pepper games. There used to be a sign in Three River Stadium, Dave, that
Well, that ruins the fence. That's why you don't play it.
I never even thought to play it because I saw the sign. I like to follow directions.
Well, I mean, the fencing costs a couple $100,000, and you play pepper against it, you ruin the fence.
Good rally.
So just so we're clear,
Point.
what exactly is pepper? You hit ground balls into a fence?
Well, you have a person that's throwing you a ball, and you're just working on your eye-hand coordination, maybe working on bunts, but you're popping the ball back rather quickly. One individual's with a bucket of baseballs, and he's throwing them at you really fast, and you're just working on your eye-hand coordination, and the balls all go into the fence and create little divots in the fence, and it, frankly, it ruins the fence. No pepper. That's what that means.
Now.
Side out.
But you could conceivably play that game into a net.
You could.
So it's no pepper games against the fence.
But you've never seen the sign on a net before.
19.
6 serves 19. It's usually against lattice type fencing where it can break the wood lattice.
You're right about that.
Thank you.
7 serving 19.
I should have made the distinction that it was only against the fence that you can't play it.
Correct.
Because it is written on the fence.
Well, you don't want to break it.
Side out.
And the fence was probably green.
It was.
Thank you.
Actually.
19 serving 7.
19-7.
Disregard that most of the players make about $100,000 a game in the major leagues.
Point.
Well, that's per at bat for Alex Rodriguez.
Well, he earns it. I mean, he hit 0-70 in the playoffs this year. That actually improved his playoff average.
He would have hit about $25 million per home run, but he never hit one. So.
Side out.
You can see the gallery is packed here for this Chapman-Garner match.
20.
7 serves 20.
Side out. Serving 7.
I also feel that this game benefits, or this ball benefits Dave Chapman because of those hard hitters on the serve. And there's another one of those beautiful shots from Dave Chapman.
Well, that was 14 backwell airs with the left hand from Aaron Garner, and certainly Dave forced a lot of those, but also Aaron not really playing up to his ability thus far. Not much you can do with that shot there, Dave, but it's Dave Chapman winning easily in game number 1, 21-7.
We are going to take a quick timeout. You're watching the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball here in Fountain Valley, California. We have game number 2 coming up next, but more action after that with the post-day wrap-up show, Race for 8 Live. That will be after this next game, possibly after the tiebreaker, if Aaron can pull one out. We'll have more action in just a bit. For Dave Fink, I'm Dave Vincent. You stick around here at racefor8.com.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning it. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teams are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.
And we are back live at Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside David Fink for game number 2 between double Aaron Garner and David Chapman. Aaron Garner, you call him Rampage. He's into MMA style fighting.
Doesn't really match his personality though, Dave. Very easy going. And our 7-minute between game break has now turned into substantially more as Aaron Garner is going to change his gloves again.
Oh, as we look down the brackets for the results from today, Sean Lenning defeated Nelson Quintero. It was Robbie McCarthy over Armando Ortiz into Andy Nett. Defeated my broadcast partner Dave Fink in a 11-4 tiebreaker. Nadi Alvarado Jr. over Jonathan Iglesias. It was Luis Moreno defeating Danny Armijo, and Charlie Shanks over Tom Little. Alan Garner got the first round bye as the #1 seed. Right now, though, it's Aaron Garner and David Chapman. This is game number 2.
And that time, Dave Chapman going down on the dive, but not converting the re-kill. Strange return there from Dave. Not a good one, but Aaron hits it right back to Dave. Really the worst spot he could have hit that shot. You heard his brother there telling him to shoot that ball.
I did hear that.
The blonde bombshell telling me between games, Dave, that Rampage is having some trouble with his right arm. He has some sort of tendonitis. That's why he's wearing that brace there on his right arm. And Dave
Point. Good rally.
buries that ball into the left corner. Bounced twice just before reaching the right side wall. Aaron had no play on it.
This is game number 2 of the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball. Stick around. We'll have a wrap-up show called Race for 8 Live right here on site.
So we're not going to go to a different location to do that show, is what you're saying?
Well, some people at home don't know exactly where we're located. I mean, we're on a
Hold on.
in a mobile area here looking at this action on the monitor. We're not watching it courtside. Now in Idaho, you and I were up on the catwalk looking down into the court live as it was happening here on a monitor.
Point. Two, serving 1.
Score here is 2-1.
Beautiful shot there from Dave.
It seemed like Aaron gave up there. Dave kind of stuttered, thinking that Aaron was going to come and take that step over. This new ball will check up on that,
serving 1.
on that second wall, so you almost have to play it, whereas before you might have let it go.
Point.
An ugly looking miss there, but a lot of times, Dave, when that ball just barely pinches the corner on those back wall shots, you get frozen for that split second, thinking that the ball is hitting the front wall first. You're leaning, and then the ball's going the other direction. You really have no play. And it looks like, from our point of view, that maybe you did give up on it, but really what happens is you're playing for the ball. You have to actually guess. You're guessing the ball's going to come front wall, side wall, and when it just pinches that corner, it's pretty much out of your reach.
And if you have your momentum going just the wrong way, it's it makes you look bad, but in reality, it's just there's no way to transfer your weight quick enough unless you're anticipating it. And then in that case, sometimes you see people transfer the weight so fast, it's just remarkable. You see Aaron Garner having some troubles here. Looks like he's not focused, and he also has that
serving 4.
problem with his right arm, his right elbow.
Replay.
The blonde bombshell telling me that he's noticing Aaron locking up his elbow on all of his back wall shots. So rather than snapping that elbow at impact, it's just locked in, and he's just stiff arming the shot.
That's how I serve the ball. Try to keep more control.
And you see it there, Dave. No snap from Aaron, just a stiff arm hope swing.
Serving 2.
And a miss it there from Dave Chapman.
I gave you the shot. Good player wants that shot.
Oof.
2, serving 4.
That's one of John Bike's favorite lines. If you argue with it, are you saying that you're not a good player?
That's why he's saying it.
Kind of a smart tactic from a referee.
I don't know if it is. I mean, I don't know if as a player I want to hear someone say that to me. It's almost like you're provoking.
Well, when
a
you're
response.
up, you know, 21-7 and cruising to a victory, it's not quite as irritating as
Point. Good rally.
if you're in a heated, close match.
Heads up.
Well, it's 4-3 here. It's game number 2, Simple Green U.S. Open and WPH Race for 8 stop. This is stop number 2. In 2 weeks, we'll be in Tucson, Arizona, as the top 8 pros have not been announced yet, because we're waiting on results from this tournament. But there is, it's pretty obvious that some players will be able to be invited.
Well, not necessarily. The number 6, 7, and 8 ranked players lost today, Dave, but number 10 defeating number 7, he has an opportunity to move into that range should he win tomorrow. Will guarantee himself into that category. Armando Ortiz not losing any points here, but he certainly will be on the bubble. And then Robbie McCarthy, Dave, who has no ranking, will not be knocking anyone out, even should he win this event.
But he can move up the rankings quite quickly from 0 to 12 or something
10,
like that. 10?
Actually, yeah.
4, serving 3.
4-3, game number 2. Dave Chapman wins the first one.
The rankings are complicated, Dave. That's why we leave it to that computer program. It spits it out for us.
Point.
Wow, there was a lot of hop on that ball there from Dave Chapman. Aaron did the right thing, opened up his hand.
5, serving 3.
Dave's going to sneak one over to that right side in a minute.
I don't think he will.
Well, Aaron's right arm isn't doing really good right now. Made a lot of hand errors with that right arm.
That's a good swing there from Aaron with his left. Unfortunately, loses the point, but that's the first time I've really seen Aaron load up and snap that left elbow. Let's take an instant replay of just the last 3 shots in that rally. You'll see Aaron with a real nice swing. Unfortunately, hits it right to Dave Chapman, who's got those amazing reflexes. This is a little bit earlier in the rally, but gives us a good opportunity to watch this action. Here's this great swing from Aaron. Unfortunately, right to Dave, and then Aaron a little bit slow to react as that ball not that low.
4 is 6, serving 3. Point.
And there's another stiff arm locked up air from Aaron Garner.
7, serving 3.
Beautiful left-hand kill from Dave Chapman. That's a difficult shot, Dave, as the ball is moving across your body, particularly with your offhand, to drill it into that left corner.
8, serving 3.
And Dave did that well.
Side out.
Aaron letting that ball drop. You see Robbie McCarthy checking out the action there,
8.
Dave, from the second to top row. Robbie McCarthy and Aaron Garner, Dave, former junior rivals.
Point.
Aaron never beating Robbie in the juniors, but playing him
4, serving 8.
quite often in junior national finals.
I think what a young player does to make a mistake against Dave Chapman is you start making wild offensive shots from all places on the court, as opposed to trying to figure out what your game is. A lot of players don't realize what they have. And you see here with
serving 4.
Aaron Garner said he's making some overhand tomahawks, just very inconsistent play. And if you watch Dave Chapman, the comparison is that he is one of the most consistent players there is.
Hold it.
Well, you have to be prepared when you play Dave Chapman to be out there for 2 or 3 hours and understand that rallies are going to be extended and you're not going to have nearly as many offensive opportunities as you would.
4.
You have to wait for those offensive opportunities.
You can't manufacture those, though, off of crazy, you know, once a week type shots.
That's true.
That's the one that's been eating Aaron up right there.
Contact. Okay.
The winner of this match will face the winner of race stop number 1, Luis Moreno.
And that's not going to be fun.
Well, it'll be fun to watch.
It'll be fun to watch, sure.
Fun for us.
We thought that the round of 16 matches here were good. I'm going to run down the round of 8 here.
You don't want to save that for the Race for 8 live?
Well, it's 2 sets of audiences. People tune in just for the Race for 8 live.
That's true.
Program.
4, serving 8.
They say back in the studio, we're going to wear the headsets this time, as opposed to the wireless mics for the Race for 8 show.
Good call. It's a point.
Dave Chapman called a wrist ball on himself. I actually don't believe it hits his wrist.
5, serving 8.
It hits the glove, but it's just a natural thing for us to call it.
His glove actually goes up half of his elbow. He wears triple extra large gloves that fit over top of 3 liners he wears on each hand. And you hear Aaron frustrated with himself there. He needs to take one more step back towards the back wall to play those shots coming off the back wall, Dave.
8, serving 5.
This is the game number 2 matchup between Aaron and Dave Chapman. It seems like I remember watching these guys play before on this court.
Point.
Do you recall that from 2000 and?
I actually don't know. I don't think they have ever played before in a tournament.
9, serving 5.
I could be fooled because I know that Aaron is the subject of Dave Chapman's new handball video.
Right out.
There's a nice kill shot right there from Aaron Garner.
So does that count as a pro match?
No.
5, serving 9. Hold it, hold it, hold it. That hit something. I didn't like
you were
that bounce
the
off the
subject
floor.
of highly specialized
5, serving 9.
mental evaluation, but I wouldn't call you a psychologist. I don't know where I was going with that. It didn't go where I was hoping it would.
I think your insults are about one conversation too early, so you're just off.
Okay.
That one you're going to use later.
I'm going to keep it in my toolbox. I just don't know how I'm going to
No, you'll find a way.
phrase it. Okay. Much like playing Dave Chapman, Dave, you can't force those insults. Have to flow.
You have to pick your moments correctly and then pounce on it. It's like there's going to be a timeout call or something here.
Is it possible, Dave, that we
9,
can skip
serving
directly
5.
to the Race for 8 live right now? You laugh, but I actually wasn't kidding.
Right out. 5 serving 9.
For our viewers at home, Dave, what time do the matches start tomorrow?
Replay.
11 a.m.
So you can count on tuning in at 10:30 a.m. for breakfast at Los Caballeros and Race for 8 live,
5 serving 9.
setting up tomorrow's action. Nice pickup there from Aaron. And
Point.
Aaron actually controlling the front court there for one of the first times in this match.
Dave just playing it smart. He decided
6
not to run
serving
forward.
9.
6 serves 9.
Point.
Still had his arm locked there, Dave, but got away with it.
7 serving 9.
Starting to see Dave Chapman breathing a little bit harder now.
You have to think that Dave's trying to get out of this match without having to exert too much energy, knowing what kind of draw he has in front of him.
Point.
Dave's legs looking a little bit heavy right now.
8 serving 9.
8-9 is the score here. It's game number 2, and Aaron Garner just a point away from tying Dave Chapman here.
Point.
And there it is. There will be a timeout
Timeout
called from
Chapman, your first. 1 minute. Score is 9 serving 9.
Absolutely no footwork there from Dave Chapman in the last 5 rallies.
Dave just does not look the same, but he does come out of these timeouts like a whole new player. And we've seen it in past tournaments where he just recovers so quickly. So we'll see. It's going to be a good test for Aaron Garner, what will happen when he comes back from the 60-second timeout. This is game number 2, the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball between David Chapman and Aaron Garner, round of 16. As you were talking about the schedule for tomorrow, we have Luis Cordova and Danny Cordova versus Miles Payne and Paul Godina.
That's a webcasted match?
It will be at 11 a.m. webcast match.
I actually don't webcast Pro-Am doubles, so you won't be seeing me at 11. You'll just be seeing me at the Race for 8 live until the pros start playing.
Okay, that was very insulting as an announcer. 12:30, it'll be Sean Linning versus Robbie McCarthy. And that is going to be one heck of a match right there, and possibly an upset, and I'm certainly sure it'll be a subject on Race for 8.
It's a good
live
prediction.
Tomorrow. And then after that, of course, it'll be Andy Nett versus Nate Alvarado.
Garner serving 9 serving 9.
Alan Garner versus Charlie Shanks. We'll have that full schedule a little later on.
Point.
Let's not forget, Dave, that as Aaron Garner takes a lead here, Alan Garner has yet to play with the 21 ball.
10
Charlie
serving
Shanks
9.
already has a match under his belt. Alan Garner will be coming in there cold tomorrow after the bye today.
Well, it seems all those yips that Aaron had earlier have quickly erased his body here. Now taking the lead, Dave Chapman serving.
9 serving 10.
Our last match tomorrow is 5 p.m.
Side out.
And that'll be the winner of this one versus Luis
10 serving
Moreno.
9. Side out. Nine serving 10.
Now, Dave, the crowd actually is pretty quiet here in this matchup, but the reason you don't hear a lot from the crowd, Dave, is because they have a fan blowing over the court, and the fan is actually really loud. It's much louder than even cheering, and you can sort of hear it in the background right now, but that's a big reason, Dave, that you didn't hear the A team cheering there in the...
That's a good point, because I have been sitting here for 12 hours, and I've never even noticed the fan until you said that. Now that's the only thing I can hear.
Well, it's almost like the airplanes when they fly over the
11,
tennis
serving
tournaments. I
10.
mean, you can't hear anything but the airplane, and that's kind of how I feel about this fan.
I mean, do we always have to use tennis as an analogy? I mean, don't you think the people that play shuffleboard
Well, I actually
also worry about the planes flying over?
I actually also use boxing as an analogy so far today, as well as baseball and football.
Huh.
Do it, yep.
So,
I'd like to see you throw in some water polo or...
well, I don't like what goes on underneath the water in water polo. That's why I don't talk about it that much.
How do they get the horses in there? That's the question I want to know. Dave Chapman now up 12-10.
And this is sort of that
Score is 11, serving 10.
territory, Dave, where the underdog has played some pretty good handball, like we saw with John Iglesias, but now it's, do you
Side
have
out.
that belief as the score goes
10,
into
serving 11.
the low teens that you can actually win this game and possibly win the match? And certainly it helps when your
What happened?
opponent and the highly favored Dave Chapman puts easy returns into the ground.
Score is 11, serving 11. Short.
We want to say hello, Dave, to Mike Wells, who's really loving
Second serve.
the front wall cam. Actually, he's thinking about putting a front wall cam in on his court at his university in Minnesota. Wants to know the exact dimensions of it. I figured rather than asking you and emailing him, why not just tell him right now?
Point.
What are the dimensions there, Dave, on that
Well,
front wall
There's
cam?
a round circle there, so there's no... It's hard to give the dimensions
Okay.
of that. But, Mike,
12, serving 11.
it's from the floor to the center is what your contractor is going to ask.
Side out.
That's a nice shot right there from Dave Chapman around the revolving door. 1-inch high kill shot to force that side out. From the floor to the center, 22 inches. 22 inches, floor to center. There it is.
11, serving 12.
And I wouldn't do anything less than 11 by 11. This is less than that, and we have to
Point.
put in a smaller camera in there because of that. It's also round, so the camera sometimes shifts, and we'll get this off-balance look. So make a flat surface. You can
12,
make a round
serving
hole, but
12.
put a flat box in there that you can actually put a camera on. I'd say 11 by 11, 22,
Replay.
22
You'd think,
inches
Dave,
off the
the
ground.
committee would have some empathy for when that camera moves around because
12,
it is round,
serving
but
12.
we don't, and the crew is fine regardless every time it moves.
Yeah, they like it. Gives them something to do. Run outside, open up
Well,
the hole.
they don't mind opening it up. They mind opening up their checkbook, though, at the end of the week.
Huh. Everybody gets fined on this tour.
Point. We have a 2-minute glove change. Score is 13-12.
And if you're an Aaron Garner fan, Dave, and I know there's a lot of them out there, you have to be pretty happy with the intensity that he's showing right now. He's yelling at himself. That first game, Dave, he looked like he was asleep, sleepwalking, much like you were doing last night. I think you made 14 trips to the refrigerator in your sleep. You were sleepwalking, eating.
And there, I mean, it's
Well, I'm just reporting. There's a good shot of a blonde bombshell, not the blonde bombshell.
well, actually, he was in the screen there too.
I didn't see him there. There he is.
That new haircut of his.
It's actually not a haircut, it's a new hairstyle. He said that he's been inspired by the show Mad Men. Very cool, Dave, to see two brothers, pro players, chatting here during this timeout. Undoubtedly, it's Allen giving Aaron some advice here, maybe just trying
1 minute.
to keep him calm here as he's on the big stage. I always find it interesting, Dave. I know you don't, but you've got Dave Chapman, who wears 2 liners plus padded gloves plus padded fingers, and his opponent just wears a regular pair of handball gloves. No liners, no padding. It's interesting, Dave, how these different top players like to feel the ball, or in Dave's case, not feel the ball quite as much.
Time.
Everybody's got their own thing. Back in the old days, I started off playing with those photography gloves, those real loose,
long,
very small, kind of inner, you know, they're, I guess it would be like an inner glove, but it would just absorb the sweat. And I played with those, adamant to play with those, actually. And I can't even tell you why I broke free from it, but I cannot put those thick cotton liners in. It just feels so weird to me. But other players swear by them. And even some of the harder hitters, Luis Moreno plays with them.
I actually don't think Luis Moreno does.
13.
Sorry.
Side out.
Beautiful shot right there from Dave Chapman.
Serving 12. Long.
Good call from our referee there. The ball has to bounce just past the short line and before the back wall, somewhere in that area. Cannot hit the back wall first on the serve. And thought Aaron was going to get away with that slight mishit with his left hand, but the ball just checks into that left side wall and dies.
14, serving 12.
14-12 is a score here in game number 2 after Chapman wins the first one against Aaron Garner. If you're ever in San Antonio, make sure to contact us and we will put you in with the right people to play handball with. They've got a great community of handball players in San Antonio, Texas.
But you won't be playing with Aaron Garner because he lives in the great Pacific Northwest.
That's true, but his father's back home watching, and there's a lot of people that travel through on business or vacation or what have you.
15, serving 12.
And if you are going to go there, contact us at We Play Handball at cs.com. We Play Handball at cs.com. And
so we're now matchmakers.
Point.
well,
Timeout, Garner.
James and I talked about this, and I told him I'd give a couple
Score
plugs
16,
out to
serving
the
12.
San Antonio Area Handball Association.
What?
He's also been quite the supporter of the WPH. San Antonio Handball Association has donated, also volunteered, and has been there for us as one of the leading supporters of our innovations since day number 1. That's Nante Alvarado Sr., widely considered the greatest four-wall player of all time. Sitting courtside, this is the Nante Alvarado Classic, a handball tournament named after him. It converted over to the Simple Green U.S. Open of handball.
Very cool feature that you have in handball, Dave. You've got Dave Chapman sitting next to Nante Alvarado Sr. during a timeout. The 2 greatest players in the history of this game. You don't see Tom Brady sitting next to Joe Montana during a timeout.
Serving 12.
I could have said another sport, but I went with football just for you.
I was hoping you'd go with cricket or something. See what Dave Chapman does with that same shot that he's been given Aaron, and he was unable to convert himself.
12, serving 16.
And you see Aaron lock that arm in, but hits a great shot. You can lock that arm in, Dave, and still hit good shots as long as you're letting the ball drop, and Aaron did let the ball drop there.
Side out.
Not a good serve there to any pro player. That ball is pretty much batting practice, Dave, when it hit the Z serve that comes out about 10 feet in front of the back
serving
wall.
13.
And this has become
Point.
a pretty exciting second game here, Dave, after kind of a dud in the first game.
Serving 13.
Aaron needs to pick up his body language here just a little bit, Dave, because he's still very much in this second game, and I saw his shoulders slump a little bit there.
That. Do that over. He held up. Serving 13.
And a beautiful shot there from Dave Chapman. Threads the needle. Runs the ball straight down the right side wall. Difficult shot.
18, serving 13.
Dave Chapman 3 points away from advancing here to the quarterfinals.
Replay.
Not a good call there from our referee.
Oh.
That's just not even close to being a hinder there.
And the crowd's letting him know about it too.
That's really the first terrible call that we've seen
Let's
today,
watch it.
Dave.
Let's watch it. Brought to you by Tucson Rolling Shutters. Dave Chapman hits it directly up the front.
What, you get the camera here now for that? 4 perfect games, and now you show me. That's great.
He threw 4 perfect games today. Actually, I thought it looked like a screen there at that replay.
Well, in super slow motion, it will look like a screen, but you'd see, Dave, if that was replayed
Let's do it again.
in real time. Let's see it in real time.
Okay. Not sure we have that technology, but let's try it. This replay will be brought to you by Simple Green. And this is Dave Chapman that was screened.
Serving 18, serving 13.
Well, I suppose there's an argument for it. I might take my assessment of worst call of the day off the table.
Downgrade a little bit. But you'd have to imagine the referee's up in that left crow's nest looking down at that, and he sees it from a completely different angle that we can't see on camera. And maybe he sees something there.
You've only used 1. You have 2 left.
Maybe his depth perception might be a little off from up there too.
Timeout, Garner. That's your second.
Aaron Garner's going to take some batting practice here.
Going to work on his left corner dump. Return kills.
I see all the players, Dave, using their timeouts. I just have never really understood it. I've always felt like the timeout does more harm. You kind of get out of your rhythm. Your heart rate starts to drop a little bit. You start to lose that sweat. And just so you can stand around for 60 seconds, I don't really understand what you're going to do in 60 seconds that you couldn't have done without that 60 seconds. I just have never understood that. No kind of explanation there from you.
I mean, only thing I have to say is going to be something negative that's going to make it seem like I disrespect it.
I'm asking. I'm actually curious.
Well, when you start winning.
Long.
Well, I've won before and didn't call timeouts, and I've lost and not called timeouts.
Lately, you've been doing a lot of losing, so maybe you should start calling some timeouts. I guess that's how I feel about it. I
feel like I've really cooled down once I.
Right out.
Well, maybe you need to start cooling up.
Maybe he wouldn't have got that other
because maybe taking a timeout will cool you up.
19.
Maybe you need to stop thinking about handball because what you're doing now isn't working. Sorry.
Can't disagree.
That ball stayed up for.
Point. Heads up.
Dave usually goes to the ground and puts the ball down or puts it in the floor. That time lifted it.
You know, Dave Chapman has not won a handball match since his win in June, the 4-wall nationals.
Well, this is his first 4-wall match. He did win a match in Toledo, and he won.
Well, I mean a 4-wall tournament, I should say.
Well, Well, there's only been one four-wall tournament since the Nationals. He didn't play in it. And now he's in the race stop number 2.
Well, there's been four-wall tournaments that he didn't travel to. He could have played
14, serving 19.
Could have played in Vegas in August.
Short.
It's not a pro event, though.
So we're just going to keep going back and forth then?
Second serve.
Pro players were in the event, though.
Replay.
And the crowd can't get upset about that because Dave actually put a hand on it.
$14, serving 19. Point.
And that's a nice shot from Aaron Garner.
That little hop after he made that shot, that was Aaron wheeling that ball to that
15,
front corner.
Serving 19.
That's called body English. Very unlucky there for Aaron. That looked like a big setup. And the ball just clipping the side wall and dying.
19, serving 15.
I'm not sure that was a squelch or not, Dave, but it was a bad break for Aaron Garner, certainly. Aaron has to be pretty pleased here, though, Dave, with the effort that he's made in the second game. And let's not count him out yet.
I don't think so. He's been getting setups.
That's true.
He could have converted that last one. It would have put him within 3.
Out.
Actually serving now at 15-19 is Aaron Garner. Of course he comes in at the underdog,
15, serving 19.
but he is a really good athlete. And I think what's happening here with his arms.
I agree. That was bad on the floor and the wall. Check the ball.
I'm not sure. Bad on the floor? I think they're saying the ball was wet. I didn't see a bad bounce.
Well, it checked up early, but I've never seen a slide stop before. Let's see this. What? It actually stops.
That's just one of those kind of bounces that happen in a handball court. I don't really understand that call.
15, serving 19.
15-19 here. I agree. I think that might be the first time someone's seen how one of those balls comes off that sidewall. You might want to use that in one of the next matches you lose.
So it's all about me then.
Point.
And there's a point for Aaron Garner, who's now making this a game. We're 3 points away from tying Dave Chapman.
16, serving 19.
And he's got the momentum.
Aaron went with a hard power serve there off the back wall, but Dave gave him a back wall setup, and then it's Dave with a beautiful cross corner paddle kill. That does go down as a PK in your scorecard, Dave.
Oh, these are the ones that you remember when you watch the video back. When you drive home. 19-16. This is a huge setup for Dave Chapman. It's going to go maybe back. There we go. Sometimes we see Dave pop that down to the left, knowing that the faster, younger player might come out to the middle.
Disappointing return of serve there for Aaron Garner, though. Just a terrible return in a crucial moment.
20, serving 16.
And this is where Aaron has to understand that every shot counts. Every point counts, because he's let down his guard here just a couple of times in this second game, and that's been the difference, I believe.
That's another slide ball.
That's so unfortunate, but that ball did slide.
Well, Dave actually had a pretty good play on that ball. He could have flipped that ball to wall and put Aaron into the backcourt, and that was the shot that he was
20, serving 16.
going to attempt.
Really frustrating when these courts start getting wet like this, but during the end of the day, that's what we witnessed. It's been many years that we've seen that here.
And this could be it. And Dave finishes it off there.
Chapman, 21-7.
In 10 minutes from now, we will have the post-game wrap-up show. Make it 5 minutes? Wow. You think we can get all the cameras hooked up?
It's going to be a quick turnover, Dave, but I thought we'd actually just stay on the air here. I didn't know how much turnover time we'd need.
Well, we have to hook up the cameras, and we're going to take a short commercial break, and then we're going to come back.
We're going to thank our sponsors.
Well, they're all thanked. We
but
thank
we
them all the time.
continue to thank them.
Well, we need to do more thanks, actually, is how I'm
So
looking
that's
at
what
it.
we're going to do.
Okay, so let's thank them. And then we'll be back in just a bit. We have the Race for 8 live show coming up, post-game wrap about today's activities. We'll be back in just a bit. You stick around at racefor8.com.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the finest non-toxic cleaner in the world. For more than 35 years, I have worked to establish truth in labeling laws. Many products misrepresent their safety and efficacy. I am so certain you will find that Simple Green does everything the label states safely, that if you're not 100% satisfied, I will refund your purchase. For more information, go to simplegreen.com.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teams are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.